Hey guys, Wood with Blue Collar. Hey, I promised you another story. I guess I stirred up things a little bit with the last one. Don't know the difference between a rifle and a shotgun. Hey, sorry about that. Just wanted to give you a quick one. This is another one that, hey, it's not for everyone. Some guys are old school. They're going to say, hey, I've done things a certain way for years. I'm going to continue to do them that way. That's fine. You do what you need to. But if you're serious about taking care of your people and keeping them, then you need to work on your relationship with those individuals and help them understand that you appreciate them and you're looking out for them where you can. Got a story about a guy that I worked with for a few years. His name is David. David was a manager for us with a plumbing company out in California. I remember going home on a Friday, or actually probably about a Wednesday afternoon, and I got a call from one of his plumbers, and they said, hey, I just talked to David. Listen, I just found out my birthday is Saturday. My wife has actually planned a surprise party for me. I mentioned I had to work Saturday, so she told me that, hey, you know what? I got to tell you, we got this thing scheduled. It was a nice restaurant. It was all sorts of stuff going on. And so he went to David and said, hey, David, listen, any way I can get off on Saturday, my wife has planned a party for me. It's my birthday. And David's response was short and to the point. Hey, you're scheduled to work, you're working. Okay? No, hey, I'm sorry, none of that. So I'm HR. I got a 10 plus year employee. He's been around a long time. He's a good plumber. He's also a little bit of a high maintenance guy, but most of the good ones are. And so I end up having a conversation. I called David and I say, hey, David, listen, I just got a call from, and I mentioned the plumber's name. And he's like, oh, yeah, I know what that's about. All right, fine. Let's talk about it. Dude, is there any way you can work someone else where there's a trade? Will you let him trade with someone? No, he needs to work. It's his Saturday. He's got to work. I said, well, how about this? Can you get him off early if there's not that many calls? He says, dude, he's scheduled to work on Saturday. I said, listen, at least have a conversation with him. Tell him, listen, I'm sorry I can't let you off. I got calls that I got to get covered, something like that. And David's response to me was, why do I have to tell him I'm sorry? Dude, he's supposed to work. He's going to work. I get it. I get we got those calls we got to cover, but David was not given an inch. In fact, he went to his boss and complained that I told him that he needed to apologize to this employee. That was not what I was saying. And that's not what we mean when we talk about. We're talking about showing some empathy. You got a 10-year plus employee, a long-term employee, in a market where you lose guys all the time because there's opportunities out there for them everywhere. And instead of taking a few minutes and saying to them, listen, I got to have those calls covered. Let me see what I can do. Even looking at the possibility of cutting him loose early or letting him trade with someone else, his response was, hey, dude, you're scheduled to work, you're working. What do you think happens with a guy like that? That story gets around. That was something I heard about for weeks. Now, I did get a call on Friday. Somehow things had kind of settled down. David had thought about it and did tell him he would try and get him off early, and he made that birthday party. But it's one of those things that, a lot of guys are saying, hey, this isn't the way I was brought up. This isn't the way I was trained. This isn't the way I had to work when I was out in the field. But you know what? That old adage is true. If you don't take care of your people, someone else will. There's going to be someone out there who will actually talk to those individuals, who will sympathize with them, empathize with them, and show some appreciation instead of sounding like, hey, look, you're asking for a really special favor, and I'm not going to jump through any hoops for you, even though it's your birthday, your wife's got this party planned, you're scheduled to work, you're working. Okay? Just a thought. Just an idea. So I'm sitting here, it's kind of rainy down in Galveston today. I got the SS Minnow behind me. Hopefully you're going to have a good weekend, brighter skies, bluer skies than what we're talking about down here. But wanted to give you another thought for the week on how you can actually show and make connections with your people. Empathy is important. Being sympathetic to what's going on in their lives, knowing what's going on in their lives, and at least showing them some respect as you have to sometimes hold a hard line. Hope you have a great weekend. Look forward to talking to you again soon.